was me. That is Dan. And my three Droogs, that is Drew, Jackson, Woody, Beaker, and Erno. And we were sitting around in our house 3 blocks from the beach that cost us $1,200 a month altogether, trying to make our Razudoks up for what to do with the evening, which would begin by smoking adrenochrome, which was birthed of a ground concoction of the pineal glands of infants and fetuses, dried and then mixed together with mushrooms, LSD, ecstasy, and a dash of fermented frog eggs found only in the mountainous regions of Taiwan.
The pigs were standing on their hind legs. All the beauty and all the peace was no longer
to be had. And I knew for a fact that ultimately this was all going to lead to this, as it always did. I destroyed one of my collection of Happy Meal toys worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And me finding a bunch of Marines down at the boardwalk and winding up in some awful position, either with the evil snail-worshipping children or in Tijuana. One way or another, it was going to be a bad hangover tomorrow, but well worth it, for in the city of Venice, all was well. So, we would begin our evening with the taking of the adrenochrome mixture, and tonight we were watching a great classic, Evil Dead 1. Drew and I and the animals all decided together that we would watch Evil Dead, the first one, the best of the 3, and in fact I think the best of Sam Raimi's films. Because here he invented this wobbly cam.
Bill, we need this shot to float. It is balancing perfectly now. Let us do this. Ready, go!
So it was that Sam, in the very earliest parts of his career, had secured a job working out in the Ural Mountains and the Alps, where Schnitzel Cinema, or Kinoschnitzel, was alive and well. And now you're looking at a set of storyboards and assorted production stills, which we are hoping to discover negative buried along with some other valuable negative out in one of the various graveyards around the greater Los Angeles area. We're looking into the cemetery in Griffith Park and Hollywood Forever, as well as the fake graveyard in the backlot of Warner and MGM lots. As you can see, this footage is clearly of the, what I have coined a phrase, the Schnitzel Cinema era of Antonioni and Fellini's careers. The master of spaghetti westerns who had fallen on our hard times as a result of a failed venture into making the movie out of Dune. These are stills from a film known only as a working title of the good, the mediocre, and the downright disgusting. A tiny country known as Schnitzelstan. It was known for its mountainous high desert terrain that was a perfect stand-in for the Old West, with its buttes and its desert landscapes. Mountainous high deserts where not a drop of rain had ever fallen in over 1,000 years. Here you can see that he was also shooting a documentary at the same time about Willy Wonka and his chocolate factory, where Willy Wonka employed, of course, the local Oompa Loompa clan who worked for chocolate and were essentially slaves for his endeavors. They were shipped in by the hundreds from the lowlands and forced into labor upon pain of being shot and drowned in a bucket of snails. Sloane Gemini was only too happy to engage in the shooting himself, as he had a fetish for snails, which we'll get into more detail about later. So here he can be seen directing a film with Herzog and Antonioni together in a Lawrence of Arabia style sequence involving reindeer crossing the endless deserts found in the high deserts there. Here they are arguing over a point, who knows what. They were both argumentative people and both had enormous egos. Here is a film that they clearly shot and had brought over Clint Eastwood to star in the film. Here they are mounted on their reindeer, which were the horses of choice in the region, and enjoying a little bit of a chat between takes, no doubt. Here is the movie poster, and we are very lucky to have found this one sole piece of original negative, which we developed and discovered this gem of Peter Lorre.
I cannot do this! Why did I agree to
D.
this?
Francis Gutman.
Why did I agree to this?
After that, I went to San Francisco State, majored in screenwriting and production there, with my advisor being Bob Wise, who was the editor of Citizen Kane, which I didn't know at the time, otherwise I would have flipped out, because it's a fucking great movie and brilliantly edited. And if you haven't seen it, you shouldn't even be at Sundance or Slamdance or wherever we end up with this picture. Always foggy, always rainy, always cold, always brutalist architecture all the time. But they had great teachers there. This is John Hess, who was a Marxist instructor on theory and criticism in film. Really fascinating fellow. Once cornered the entire classroom by asking them when World War II started, and everybody chirped up 1941, of course. But of course, they were forgetting about the entire beginning of the war, the 3 years before the United States came in, when Hitler invaded Poland and annexed Austria in 1938, and you could probably drill back into the Italian invasion of Ethiopia as the genuine beginning of World War II. I, being the only one who has any interest in genuine history, was the only one that properly answered his question, and he looked around the room disappointedly at the rest of them. And here is Ruby Rich. She was a fellow traveler along with John Hess. They co-founded Jump Cut magazine, which was a great little rag about a communist perspective of emerging nation cinema around the world. She's the one that first showed me The Battle of Algiers, which is an excellent film, and if you haven't seen it, go and see it tonight. It's great. It would make a great remake, and perhaps someone will give me some money after seeing this and give me some to make it, because people need to know about why it is that the rest of history happened. History that Americans simply don't know. And this is Dr. Bill Nichols, who, along with Peter Gessner and a number of other teachers, focused largely on documentary filmmaking, and he was an influential documentarian in the city, covering all kinds of leftist ideas that were so popular in San Francisco before the tech bros took over and turned it into the Republican stronghold that it is now. Just kidding, but not kidding, but just kidding. He got me into documentaries, which is one of the reasons that I am making this documentary right now. This is Julia Lesage, who her views were, if not anything else, even perhaps further to the left from Dr. Hess and the rest of the Jump Cut Mafia. She had an enormous charismatic personality and focused largely on feminist theory in cinema, which gave me the foundational beliefs that I hold to this day. She was not the modern version of a feminist that you think of, burning bras and what have you, as people believe feminists back then were. She was a very business-like person with a great mind and much to say. I believe she coined the phrase, "well-behaved women rarely make history," and if she didn't, she certainly held true to it. Here is the Jump Cut Mafia posing together, looking quite handsome and attractive and beautiful and wonderful and brilliant. It is these people that in large part I dedicate this film, as they were seminal in my development as a filmmaker and a writer, and influenced the way that I approach cinema and thinking greatly. And here is the great and mighty Robert Wise, who, as I said, edited Citizen Kane among many other accomplishments in his early 20s. And here he is instructing my buddy Chris Brown, another outstanding filmmaker,
who had directed a number of great films himself. Check him out. He's on the interwebs. And here's Bob Wise instructing my good friend Chris Brown as a veritable child here, though he was 18 at the time, or 19 perhaps, in how to properly expose film on a camera that doesn't have auto exposure. Chris Brown and I came up together, and he has produced a number and directed a number of great films, including The Other Kids and a number of other great movies such as Fanny, Annie, and Danny, all of which have appeared in various film festivals and are all available at his website. So check Chris out. And so without further ado, I'm going to drop a little acid, take a little more Adreno and various other drugs that I can find around the house, and get to work on my great new project, Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Alright, so let's get this party started. This is going to be a great film, and I'm going to be editor. Famous and rich and oh baby, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, that's the stuff, Tommy. You're dead right, Tommy. Oh no, not again. Here we go, Oh, Tijuana, here we come. What's with the fucking snails, man? They're always haunting me. It's like Lennon in the number 9. Oh, where am I going? Okay, we're on the road trip now, right, Mr. Banana Slug? Oh, go. No. Am I talking? Am I talking? I can't talk anymore. Am I talking? No. No. I'm here. Okay, one more time. This time I'm gonna. I don't want to buy a puppy. Alright, here we go. I'm ready to edit now.
Swear to God.
Oh man, I'm so high right now.
Weed soak
Alright, so
in, let the acid
this
soak
is the
in,
opening credit sequence for a good
mescaline
movie I'm actually
start
going to
sweeping
get
up
to
from my
edit.